this is Angela Moorad at Amazing Kids AAC Consulting. So I had gotten a couple questions from folks asking about, well, how do you use Vocabulary Builder now that we don't have the pre-made bilingual Spanish-English file and Lamp Words for Life? I mean, you can still use that old bilingual pre-made file. If you don't have a copy, it's out on their website. You can re-download that. The downside of doing that is those are considered to be legacy files, and so I don't know at some point if that'll cause problems as they continue to roll out updates to the app. So what I've done, these are the single language files. I have this one in English, and then I have one in Spanish. I initially had put my language toggle under talk, and then they said, well, there's a spot for it under the keyboard, and I debated about that, but I ended up going back to, it just made sense to keep it in that top left corner like we were accustomed to. And I looked to see in that old bilingual file where finish, the button finish, instead of being in that top left corner, where it is under stop. And so I added that button there so I didn't lose that language. And I'm going to edit and show you the button action to do this is go to vocabulary. I chose to use a symbol sticks symbol that I have available from another app because I liked that it showed someone speaking and it showed speaking Spanish. Okay, cancel, done. All right, so first thing, you're going to have to create your vocabulary builder list in each language. So menu, vocabulary builder, and under visible actions, you have cleared, these were already set. I didn't do anything to do that. I did toggle on that I wanted to include word finder. If you want to show the entire keyboard, that's where you would find that. Where it says toggle language, I couldn't figure out what that's supposed to do. So instead of doing that, I have my name for my button. And so here's what all I have enabled here. I'm going to have go. I'm going to show you go to, which is their pre-made button in the keyboard area, my Spanish button, and stop. All right, so I'm going to click done. Whoops. I need to toggle it on first, then done. All right, so this is what this reduces it down to. And I have this go to also, just for demo purposes, showing where that's programmed to go over here to the Spanish side. Okay, so, and then my top left corner, I also have to do that. Okay, so over here on the Spanish side, menu, vocabulary builder, and I'm going to go into my visible actions and make sure I have the same things. Right, I have my word finder, show enabled. Okay, so I have English. Let me go look to see really quick. Edit page, edit this button. I don't know how to say that in Spanish, so I'm just going to call it go to again. Sorry. I don't need for it to have a message. Well, that may be how it looks for it though. Go to. And go to vocabulary. And hold on. There we go. It's that one. Save. Done. Okay, so menu, vocabulary builder. All right. On. Done. All right, so what this shows here is now I'm in Spanish and I have 2 words I can say.
Ir. Parar.
So go and stop. And under the keyboard, I'm not sure why it has these other things showing. If you wanted to use that method of having your toggle under the keyboard, then you would need to make sure that that button's labeled, and then that would show up in your pick menu for Vocabulary Builder. Okay, and then same thing in English. You would need to have that labeled. And then your Vocabulary Builder, if you don't want to use that anymore, toggle that off. They toggle on and off separately in each language in these single language files. So it actually isn't hard. It just takes a few steps. So it's up to you and your user to decide where you want to put that toggle. Do you want to move what used to be up in that top left corner over under the stop page and add a button there and the verb conjugations? Or do you want to use the designated spot here on the keyboard, the go-to button up in the top right corner? So I would involve the AC user in that decision. For my purposes, I did end up settling on liking the way it was before, where that toggle is on the home page. So hope this helps.